Hello, my crafty friends. It's Marie from Marie's Vermont Creations, and today I am making my first light up card. So I am using the Fawn Beam Me Up stamp set. I am taking my card panel and I have put both the spaceship and the beam in my Misty as close as I can get them together, and I am going to stamp them using some Gina K amalgam ink. I will stamp them a couple of times, and for my second time I will use my dry eraser just to help with the pressure on the lid of the Misty. And so I have off screen also stamped out a mask and cut that out just on some scrap of masking paper that I had in my stash. And I'm going to peel off the backing and get that lined up over my image so that we can make a galaxy background. So I am going to take some of my Simon Hurley inks in some of random colors. I think I start with Crown Me, which is a purple, one of the later colors that came out, and I'm just going to put random splotches of color. There is no rhyme or reason as to how I'm doing this, and as you're working on galaxy backgrounds, there will be a moment where you're like, this is a hot mess and what am I doing? Just keep going. It gets better. So this is Psych that I'm adding a couple of splotches. This is Guppy, which is a nice orange color. And I am just overlapping them a little bit, trying not to do too crazy because I don't want, brown on there, but just little spots here and there. This is Overzealous, which is a nice green color. And I fill in a lot of spaces with this, and then I realized I forgot in my first run of this, I did some blue, which I really liked. So I am going to take the Remember Me as my last color to fill in a few sections with this. And then I'm going to take my Distress ink in Black Soot. I only have a mini, and I'm just using a regular blending foam after I clean up my work surface. Using my blending foam, and I'm just going to put the black all over this card panel, trying to be heavier towards the edges. And you think, why are you covering it all up? But it's to, soften some of those colors so they're not as bright, but show the different colors that could be in the night sky, in outer space, as I imagine it to be. Have you made light up cards before? Because let me tell you, I have owned these Easy Lights for quite some time, and this is the first time I've actually tried to use it. For some reason, when I saw this Beam Me Up stamp set, this was the image that I had in my mind for it, and I just had to get over myself and make it. I am shaking up some of the Perfect Pearl powder that I have in a little spray bottle mixed with some water all over this background. I'm going to clean that up, and then I'm going to take just some cheap white craft paint, put a little on my board, add a little spray of water, and then splatter that all over. And that's what makes the magic of a galaxy background, is when you add the white splatter, it suddenly makes sense and you can tell that it's a galaxy. So I'm just going to get that all over. And I will say, after I made this card, I went to go into the bathroom and I had white paint dried all over my face. So I just got right into the whole crafting process. So I am just using my tool-in-one to lift up the edge of this mask because I wasn't quite patient enough. You should really let all of this dry because it does have a tendency to rip your paper. It was still not quite 100% dry, but I went with it. Then I'm going to take one of these micro liner pens. I don't believe this brand you can get anymore. My Joanne still has them. And I'm just adding the black line from the beam to the spaceship that wasn't quite there. Off screen, I cut out the beam section because I'm going to put some vellum behind that. So right now I'm just taking a black marker and filling in that white edge so that it doesn't it blends in with the stamping better. And then off screen, I will color in my spaceship. And I have colored in and fussy cut out my aliens off screen as well. I used my Ohuhu alcohol markers for all of the coloring that I did on this project. So now I'm going to take my vellum scrap that I had and just cut out a piece that's, bigger than this opening that I have. And then I'm going to take one of my alcohol markers and color on the back of the vellum with a yellow because I wanted it to look like a beam of light. So I'm just going to use the wider nib of this marker and just fill in this section. Nothing fancy here. And then I'll take my double-sided adhesive to the back of that opening and adhere that down. And I did it to the back. I will adhere it so that the coloring that I did is in the back because it gives it's not quite as bright on the opposite side. So you could also, as I was putting the tape down, you could make this into a shaker card in this opening if you wanted to do 2 interactive elements. But the lights were enough of out of my comfort zone that I didn't dare do multiple things because I wanted this card to turn out the way that I had it envisioned in my mind. But that is something that you could do. So once I get the backing peeled off, I'm going to get this adhered down. And then I will take my aliens and get them adhered down. So I've put one in the spaceship. One is going to be where my button press is. And then this one that's being beamed up is I put one piece of a foam square behind it. So I am putting the adhesive on the back of this alien here, but I am going to leave him off to the side and add him after I get my button on for the easy lights. I did handwrite the word push because I don't have a stamp set one of those interactive stamp sets, so I just hand wrote it in. And here I've put the battery in and just showing you these easy lights, and they are just what they say. They're easy. You literally put the battery in, adhere this battery pack down. I'm just using some double-sided tape, putting it where I want it on the back of the card for my recipient to push. And then once I figure out exactly where that is, I will put my alien over it so they will know what they're supposed to do. So then I'm going to take some washi tape just from my stash. You could use clear tape, just office tape. And I'm going to, there's 3 lights on the string, so that I'm just going to run them along the top edge of my beam here, because I want it to look like it's coming from the spaceship so that the whole beam is lit up when you press the button. So I am just lining those up along that edge and tacking them down with some washi tape. Nothing fancy at all. So then once I get those lined up and where I want them to be, I will take the excess wires and just tuck them together along the side of the card. Just showing you how that looks. My middle light wasn't as equal distant as the other one, so I will adjust that. But then I'll just take some washi tape and tack down those wires to the side, and then I will cover the back of this everywhere but where the button element is with some foam tape, which I have doubled up on itself, and I will put that everywhere along the back side, take off the backing paper, and have that ready to go to put onto my card panel. And that's my new roll of the Amazon foam tape. So I've set that aside because I'm going to take my card base, and I am using Remember Me. No, it's not Remember Me. It's Midnight Snack from Simon Hurley, and I am just going to go, it's like a navy blue color. I'm just going around the whole edge of this card just to give it a little more interest. You could do this with any color. You could do it with, you could drag your Versamark ink pad over it and do heat embossing around the edge of your cards. Allison Haikila does this a lot, and I took that from her just to jazz up your cards a little bit. So then I will put my card panel down and make sure that it lights up. And then the sentiment I am using is from the stamp set. I am going to stamp it down using the Midnight Snack ink, and then I will trim it out off screen using my paper trimmer, cut it crooked, then I hand cut it out with my scissors, and I will put some double-sided adhesive on the back of this to adhere it to the card. And that will complete this interactive card. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below, or if you have any projects that you'd like to see in the future. As always, I hope that y'all have a great day.